morning, my name is Leticia Gutierrez and today I will be talking about transgender students' rights. According to Ms. Magazine, a blog written by Stephanie Hallett in 2011, a study that surveyed 6,450 trans Americans reported that 78% of the trans Americans are severely harassed as children. Of that percentage, more than 1/3 are living in poverty today as adults. Transgender students are facing inequality among our school system by having their rights being taken away to use the bathroom facility of their choice based on their self-identified gender. As a society, we must protect our children's rights, regardless of their gender identity, bring awareness to the discrimination faced by the transgender community, and move towards policies of equality. As a member of society myself and an LGBT ally, I feel it is our responsibility to bring attention to discrimination faced by the transgender community from children to adults. Transgender children's rights need to be protected, as well as their needs and well-being need to be met. A law passed in California that took effect on January 1st, allowing transgender students to choose between the girls' or boys' restroom, locker rooms, and sports team depending on their gender they identify with, according to the Huffington Post, an article written by Annie Knox in February of 2014. However, a referendum that failed to qualify for the November ballot is trying to be approved. They're fighting for it to be approved to appeal the law passed earlier this year, which would take the transgender students right away to choose between the facility of their choice based on their self-identified gender, according to an article written by Melanie Mason in the LA Times, February of 2014. We're establishing discrimination among our children within our school systems, as other students will continue to have the right to choose between their bathroom facilities, and transgender students won't. These types of facilities shape our children's minds that can lead to not making any progress to reduce or terminate discrimination against the transgender community. The transgender community faces a lot of discrimination. According to a Trans Respect versus Transphobia, an article written in April 2014, during Transgender Day of Remembrance that occurs every November annually of each year worldwide, Transgender Europe's Trans Murder Monitoring Project revealed a total of 1,374 reported killings of trans people in 60 countries worldwide from January 1st to October 31st, 2013. Within 10 months of those killings, we registered the highest number of reported murders of minors that identified as trans people. The discrimination the transgender community faces goes beyond the school hallways. However, this is an opportunity for us to establish equality among our children by advocating transgender children's rights. Equality needs to be at the core of all of our policies. Republican Representative Michael Kennedy plans to preemptively block Utah from allowing transgender students to choose between the girls' and the boys' restrooms, as the California law now lets the trans students choose between the facilities. Representative Kennedy's proposal would require students to provide additional bathrooms for transgender students who desire one or whose families request one, as he feels transgender students and other children will feel more comfortable if transgender children weren't allowed to choose between the facilities they self-identify, based on their self-identified gender, according to an article written by Annie Knox in the Huffington Post in February 2014. Although Representative Kennedy has all children's interests in mind, by asking transgender students to use another facility would undermine their rights to choose, as well as undermine their identities. As Sarah Jane Woodhouse, a transgender Utah woman and a college professor, explains, that policy will regulate transgender students to secondary status, according to an article written in Huffington Post in 2014. As I bring this speech to a close, I would like to reiterate that as society, we must advocate equality among our children and ourselves. Transgender students have a right to use the bathroom facilities of their choice based on their self-identified gender. I encourage you all to take part of the Transgender Day of Remembrance annually. In 2014, it will be November 20th. Come together to remember those who have been victims of anti-transgender hatred or prejudice. Transgender children have the right to use the bathroom facilities of their choice based on their self-identified gender. I challenge you to shed light on the discrimination faced by transgender children as well as the transgender community within our school system and become involved in bringing equality among our children as well as the transgender community as a whole. Thank you so much for your time.